There's no explanation for what's on those films because there is no excuse for it. I was wrong. And I want to tell everybody who's believed in me that I'm deeply sorry for the pain and the hardship that I've caused them. Thank you very much.
Hey, welcome in everyone to Dom Time. That's Coach Rice, Coach Mike Rice, formerly of Rutgers, apologizing. The AD has now quit. They're holding out on the president, though, because Governor Christie seems to think that this guy has something still to offer, which is strange. Phil, we were talking about cursing a little bit before we went on. And during the break, we're talking with Ken. I think it was old school. There was not this amount of cursing. These guys may have been physical. Some of them were legendary, etc. I think it's more new school, and some of these coaches reflect what's going on today. So it becomes harder to tell your kid, no, you don't casually drop the F-bomb in every sort of situation. When the coach is doing it, I don't mean occasionally, they're just enraged at a call and all. Not right, but you get it. But I mean just a constant litany of it.
Yeah, I don't remember, not on thinking back, I don't remember a coach swearing at me, but I do remember coaches verbally abusing players. There's other ways. Like Ken was talking about, you know, his college coach calling him the P word.
Yeah.
I mean, coaches would do that because, especially in football, where you're supposed to be a man and you're supposed to be able to take certain things, you know, that's when you get called those names. Unfortunately, at Rutgers University, based on the past history of the
Tyler Clementi,
the student that committed suicide because of, you know, that's a very sensitive subject at that university right off the top. So for this coach to be throwing that word around like it's no big deal, that didn't help either. I mean, maybe some people would have said, even if he didn't throw the ball, that alone may have, you know.
Do you think, Ken, now when a coach comes in the living room with parents and whatever, they're going to be scrutinizing this guy and asking this guy, and if they are, I mean, I look at Rick Pitino playing tonight in the national championship game. I think this guy is a fraud. I wouldn't shake hands with this guy. I wouldn't walk across the street. Am I correct?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people. Yeah, but guess what? He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, the other thing is, coaches are salesmen. I mean, they're different people when they're in your living room recruiting you when they are obviously on the court or on the field. I mean, you know, they're paid to get the best players to come to the university, and they're going to sell you a bill of goods in some instances, and then once they get you on the field, it's an entirely different ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, we just saw they just had a list up of notorious coaches. You saw I was at the top of that list, John Chaney. But you know, another coach that used to go out and recruit, and people would gladly send their kids to play for him, was Bobby Knight. I mean, people knew that Bobby Knight was, you know, very verbal in the way he talked to his players. Maybe once in a while, put a hand on him, maybe a headbutt here and there. But look, here's the difference between Bobby Knight and Rice. Bobby Knight won some national championships, played for a big school. Even at the end, though, the folks at Ohio State had enough. You know, they sent him on to Texas Tech. But that's the difference. Bobby Knight is a well-known person. I know that he's going to go and have a chance to, you know, play big-time college basketball. That's the other difference, too. Like Ken said, money has a lot to do with it, you know? So
yeah, he's won 3 national championships. This guy did not. So who's really at fault here? Is it just the coach or is it the university? They had to know this guy's the AD in this situation. Ken, he'd be looking at this. He had to know. This wasn't, viewers should know, this wasn't one practice. This was a compilation over the years of practices.
Well, the interesting thing I thought was that the president of Rutgers did not look at the tapes, number one. Number two, the athletic director sought Rutgers legal counsel, and they recommended the course of action of fine and suspension. So this was not a secret. I mean, the evidence was there. I think it was inherent on the athletic director to make sure the president had access to the tapes. And if the president didn't view the tapes, then it's on the president and he fell short in this.
Absolutely. We're talking with Ken Dunnick and Phil Andrews, and we want to take some of your calls. Is what you've seen out of bounds? Is it a tempest in the teapot? And what about females? What about girls basketball? Last night I was entertained watching Notre Dame in Connecticut, but particularly the coach of Connecticut. What might he be like? And if you had a daughter, is that making him better, or is it just bad behavior? You get to us at 866-472-8868 here on Dom Time.